with the brewery name.
Right. So
Okay.
we're gonna have to scrub that off the truck
Yeah,
anyways. I'm willing to do that. I just needed a place to stash it. I figured you know somebody, and then
Oh,
I cut you
well,
in on it so you can buy a few more frilly doilies for your, end tables or whatever.
yes, that's exactly what I
I
do.
didn't realize you were that strapped for cash. You had to steal the whole truck from me.
Let's take the truck to the garage and scrub it, and just scrub it of the brewery logo, and then get on with it. It's a plain truck.
Okay.
All right, so you guys do the truck shuffle, and of course, in the meanwhile, Nicholas is just in his own vehicle, just waiting patiently out on the street to follow you.
Yep, nobody wants to ride with Nicholas. Well, he has his own car. He does pretty well for college. College.
Do you want to ask him particularly about that?
Yeah, in fact, I will ride with Nicholas because he has a car, and I don't feel like riding in a.
Okay. He's more than willing to drive you.
I will engage you in polite conversation. So, tell me about yourself and how fascinating Florida is.
Well, my parents are from Germany. They transferred over before the war began. But of course, I was here before them, studying. We figured an education in America would be, more modern.
Yeah, I can't help you. It was such a lucky break that you managed to know strange flora and just jumped on the chance to come with us. Such serendipity.
Yes, I'm glad that my professor told me. You would never expect him to, hold anything back, would you?
I mean, my ears are going to perk up when Professor the truth.
No, of course not.
Yeah, he's obviously okay. That's. I'm just gonna go ahead and while we talk, I'm gonna make. I am going to let him talk and make conversation with him. So I'd like to gossip with him. We have an hour-long car ride, right?
Okay.
All right.
More than anything, he'll continually default back towards medicine and anatomy and biology. But of course, you could definitely still try to get plenty out of him. One success.
I only have one success. So if there's something that he might accidentally conversation,
He is
so
definitely guarding himself. But what's
so he's
one
hiding
thing you
something
want
by
to know more than anything right now?
Okay, and he has no obvious tattoos or, glowing eyes.
No, he has no marks, no sigils, no creepy amulets.
All right, so I'll just mark him down.
He's got like a pocket watch.
Okay, I'll ride up with him.
As far as your conversation goes, you can tell he seems to more or less be acting on his own initiative.
Meanwhile, in the other truck, I'm all like, "Oh, Miss Fancy Pants is too hoity-toity to get in the truck, but she wants to take the whole thing and steal it." She's like, "Oh yeah, I could be a vigilante and be all the bad guys up, but God forbid you take something that they stole first." Like, oh my God.
The car gives like a very frightening rumble and then emits a large cloud of black smoke behind it. Or the truck does. It'll hold. It'll hold. Uh, but alright. So after a little bit of conversation, the lot of you end up back in Willow Springs. Let me go ahead and doot. I think most of you are there already. There we go. And Willow Springs. So here we are once again back in town. It's been about a day. There's no more rain at the moment, but it's sort of settled into a light fog this morning. But it's quickly evaporating as the sun is heating things up. What exactly do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to try to do?
I guess we take them on a sightseeing tour and
Yeah, you
we
guys.
end
I
up.
assume we're going to park the car. I will change into ground outfit, which I have.
Interesting. Why would a woman like you have that?
What one has to be prepared.
Prepare indeed. We're not on a gardening trip.
Yes,
Well,
we are. We literally are.
I'm willing to split the difference with you on that.
Okay, and then it's Dante and Zamek. Nobody found them.
Okay. So I would like you then to, assuming you're going into the forest to search again, what do you have for wandering through the forest to find what you want without getting lost? Go ahead and take a D8 because you were literally just there.
Led my
mean-
terrifying, horrifying memories of the past, which led me to the exact place before anyway.
You're right. Go ahead and take an extra D8.
The fact that I relive them nightly.
I do have 2d6 in observation. I'm pretty, and I grew up in a, jungle forest area. I think I can remember my
Okay.
way through trails and valleys and
Do you actually have
paths. So-
survival on you?
No, but I am a drifter.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll mind academics, and it looks like you're going to get 3d8.
Also, local knowledge of Willow Springs.
I just wonder what I can do with this situation.
Well, they're just
Take
leading
pictures.
you into the forest at the moment.
Yeah, if we find more of the plant, you can take pictures. Might be something to.
All right, you more than certainly don't get lost, and in fact, you managed to retrace your steps. Oh, wait, that was Dante's roll, not Zamek's.
Well, I'm there.
Still the same conclusion, seems.
Yeah, I don't know why it rolled a 0
Especially
so
after you roll like an extra 3d8 in there.
What's that?
But between the two of you, you more or less managed to find about where you were before, except the scene is a little different. Instead of being sort of an empty clearing, you find, in fact, a clearing that's very full of orange flowers.
And as soon as we get there, I'm like, I'm still kind of like, don't touch the flowers.
I asked, what happened the last time you touched them?
I don't know, but where I come from, usually bright yellow, orange, or red things is what we use to like poison darts and arrows with. So yeah, let's not do that.
Well, that's just wacky. I suggest not touching them because they'll stain your.
Nicholas is already leaning in, putting on some rubber gloves, and taking out a small set of tools from a side satchel he has.
There you
And
go.
taking a
That
clipping.
man knows what's going on.
Yeah, James, get some pictures of this.
I take out my camera and take some.
Yeah, do you practice cryptozoology?
I practice in debunking cryptozoology, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Well, this is something. Oh, this is technically cryptobotany.
So this is where it comes from, isn't it? Nicholas
And
sort
this
of
is
says under his breath.
And this is apparently where about 6 different children disappeared. 7? 6? 6
Yep.
children and 1 adult.
Well, corpses do
technically-
make for good fertilizer.
Let's not bring that up.
It's pretty dark. Yeah, I guess while they're looking at the plants, I'm gonna go ahead and like look for signs of tracks or anything like that.
Okay, go ahead. What do you have to look for tracks? Mind observation?
Yeah, mind observation. I'm not actually a tracker,
Okay.
so a mere 1 success, I would find most obvious track.
You can tell that this area has been disturbed, and it looks like somebody's already cut a large number of these flowers.
Wow, there's this many, and someone's already cut. Are there signs of like a wheelbarrow, anything else way in?
No, there don't appear to be any, discernible tracks. Whoever did this must be traveling light.
Weird.
All right, I guess, can I do anything in my shamanist background that would give me insight as to what you could use these flowers for?
Maybe. I think you actually have a ritual to ask a question, don't you? Or did I not do that?
No, you didn't give me a ritual to ask the question.
No, okay. I mean, you're mostly dealing with your own knowledge here, I suppose.
Wait,
You could always roll mind academics to try to make a educated guess.
I thought he started with the ritual task to ask.
I think that was to improve mood.
Yeah, no. I have two rituals.
Well,
One
the way
where
it works to
no,
improve. Okay, so yeah, you can ask them what you do, but you can't ask them. Okay, that makes.
By the way, you're breaking up like half sentences, ref.
yeah, like the last word out of every sentence is literally getting cut off. But anyway, I have two rituals. One lets me basically stop a supernatural power from using its powers unless it deals with me, which is what I used against the ogre. The other one is basically like a curry favor with my petitioned power to figure out what I need to do to keep them happy.
The very basic one that you ask, what do you? Not
Yeah,
the same as asking them a question. Absolutely correct. All right. Is the mic any
all
better
right,
now?
a little bit.
I had to turn you
You
down
may
by like
want
100%.
you may want if you're on voice activity, you may want to play with the cutoff time
No, I've
a
been
little
on
bit.
push to talk the entire time, which is that little.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. There's like a delay between when you press off the
You
button and
let
when it
go too
actually
soon.
yeah. So there's
Roger
a
that,
delay
boss.
function.
All right. 2 successes. Uh, you sort of try to rack your brain, Zamek, for what these things could be used for. And you have more or less a distinct feeling that it sounds like maybe a few stories that you've heard or a few legends. And you have a distinct feeling from what you remember from these stories that whatever this is could probably be used as a sort of fuel or currency.
As an offering to curry favor with something.
Could very well be. But you distinctly remember that all these stories greatly involve torturing others to acquire it.
Of course.
Pain, suffering, and all of that. They're not very happy stories.
All right. So I guess as we're patrolling through skirting this field looking for clues, I tell everyone like, yeah, when I grew up, my the shaman in my village used to tell us stories and he told us stories about how darker people would use plants like these and the suffering of others to curry favor with, let's just say, not so nice entities of the other worlds, dark spirits that inhabit the forests in places like this.
Dark
He goes,
spirits.
yeah, and I thought it was just kind of the thing you tell little kids so that they go to bed on time or like do their chores. But considering what I had to deal with last night, and the fact that one of these flowers literally looked like something that my shaman used to talk about all the time, I don't know anymore.
What did you have to deal with last night?
And I relay the story about the giant ogre that tried to kill me with a giant piece of iron that I had to drive off.
An ogre.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's basically for like. Are you sure it was an ogre?
All this
I go,
nonsense.
that's what they called it. I mean, I've never seen one myself,
Well,
but
we
it was
didn't actually
about
call him
a.
an ogre. He was wearing a mask.
I think that's what the guards called him, right?
Don't think so.
I mean, out of
I'm gonna go
character.
ahead and say yes at this point. The guard you were
Yeah,
talking to referred it to as an ogre.
right. And I'm like, I don't know what an ogre is, obviously, but I'm like, it's about 8 feet tall. It was about 3 times as wide as a normal person. It could pick up an I beam, like building strut construction I beam, like it was a baseball bat. So you make that what you will. While we're
Be it
standing here,
beyond my reason for being here, but I don't suppose you happen to have a body, do you?
what do you mean?
I'm talking about evidence. Something that huge in the middle of the city.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Oh,
figured the
nothing.
exact.
I mean, these two saw it.
Just as a quick aside, the word ogre, that exists, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I just mean, are we like in a zombie universe where we don't call zombies zombies because we've never heard of zombies before? That sort of thing?
I'm just
I
gonna
think
assume.
like that hasn't like filtered into popular culture at this point, but
No,
you
no,
know,
no,
That's my
I don't
point.
mean...
large creatures definitely have existed.
Yeah, I don't mean
No,
like
that's my.
zombies specifically. I just mean in the example
Yeah.
of in zombie movies, they don't know that zombies are real because they've never heard of zombies because they don't have popular
Yeah,
culture.
No, no,
here
no,
I
no,
think
no.
more in
I'm
particular,
a
it's just an unhelpful term in determining what it is, where it's from, or
exactly,
what it's capable of.
exactly. So I'm just assuming, like, based on my background, I don't know what an ogre is. But if someone said ogre in the context of it, be like it's a monster, so ogre is some type of monster. I could get behind that concept, but I don't know what an ogre is.
Alright, just trying to clarify.
Which,
But nothing.
as someone who grew up as a first generation American, I had to do that a lot of times. People would say things, and I would just have to infer by context what they meant. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, and then I'm like, I've never seen that before in my life. So,
So nothing at all.
mhm.
Hmm.
But anyway, like I said, but these two saw it last night as well.
Yes, well, eyewitness accounts are very unreliable.
I'm probably behind you
I'm-
I need
shaking
something
my
to
head.
dissect.
I'm behind you shaking my head because I literally did not see it in character. I was always on the other side of one of those giant vat things, so I was never into my line of sight.
I think didn't it go into the hallway?
Yeah, but
Before it
remember, I
turned
was
around.
literally up near the wall, near the doorway, on the opposite side of a vat with the other guard that I was trying to fool. So I literally was never in line of sight of the ogre.
Oh, okay. I
See,
figured it
even
was
your
at least.
friends can't collaborate.
I might have been able to hear
Yeah.
something, but it was just a lot of loud noise in an already loud noise area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dante
Uh,
definitely. I mean, not Claudia definitely saw something.
I saw a very large man in a mask.
mm,
All I know is this: I used a trick that only the shaman in my village ever used, and it worked. It was like I've never got it to work before in my entire life, and it was the only time it did work. So, like I said, you take that for what you will. I think we're dealing with something beyond the realm of science here.
Well, if you want a
uh-huh.
brother to follow you around all the time, you just keep...
Just a bundle of joy. Well, I finished dissecting the flower, and I've
Well,
come to a conclusion. It's fake.
What do you mean? Fake? What do you mean?
I mean, it's not a real flower. Look, and he'll go ahead and take a spade and he'll start digging straight into the dirt, just disrupting the bed, uh, with no real care for anything in front of him. And eventually you can hear it hit something very soft, and he pulls up just like a clump of yellow on the spade. More specifically, it appears to be a growth of this. Sort of the same way a mushroom connects to the mycelium.
oh yes, like
Ah,
those crazy funguses that grow for miles.
You said you saw it in a tree. Was it that one over there?
Yeah, I point to the. I guess that we could see the log where the hole is and all that, right?
Give me a knife. An axe?
I have a
hand,
trowel.
A spade,
I
are
hand
you?
him. I hand him. Oh, you can have the spade or my pocket knife.
Yeah, wait, guys, I have a trowel. Will that help?
If we want to trust a woman to do it.
No,
Why?
here. I wouldn't
no.
dream of damaging it. Take my tools.
I mean, I imagine I'm standing somewhere in the back and I have to say, Claudio, Miss Greyhouse, why did you come into the forest dressed as a gardener?
Yes.
I said, why?
I put on the gardening outfit before we came out here.
Yeah, I know, I'm asking. I asked, did I break up in the middle of asking the question?
I think you broke up. I think we're all breaking up tonight.
Well, no, I mean, I'm hearing everybody fine. I have push-to-talk problems myself. My push-to-talk button's a failure. I asked you in character why you came into the forest dressed as a gardener.
Because we were looking for plants, and here is a trowel up.
Yes, I'm surprised you don't have the same initiative.
She always dresses for the occasion.
Right, but this is a florist. I don't.
Because we came here looking for plants.
Shush, concentrating, trying to get leverage.
And
He
also
says as he
coming.
like shoves the spade like into the side and starts trying to like leverage bark off the tree.
Yeah, and also, why would I come dressed in my high heel, my, silk jacket? I mean, I'd get dirty.
Meanwhile, I'm
I'm
still
sorry,
wearing the
my boss-
fancy outfit.
My,
Top
my
hat,
boss is only.
That's a
my
much
boss-
better question.
top hat,
Yeah, he
tuxedo.
goes, you have to excuse my boss. He's only used to dealing with a certain class of woman.
Standing there with a cane in hand, white gloves.
As of course you're discussing your outfits, Nicholas is intent on ignoring you further until he finishes his job. At which point he has
This is the
revealed a
1930s.
yeah,
1920s, actually.
exactly.
1920s.
But he has continued to strip bark until he has like revealed the center of the tree, and there's more yellow. I thought this tree looked rotten for a little bit. But
Now,
it's
what you mean
something
by
different.
now, what you mean by yellow? Do you mean like yellow ooze, yellow flesh, yellow pulp? What?
Yeah, like more yellow fungus. Very gooey form of it.
I
It appears
see.
it's become infected.
I would like to take the handkerchief that I have in the front pocket on the front of my suit out of my pocket and place it over my mouth. Both in disgust and for care.
You're fine, it's not sporing or anything.
Can I assist you?
My question is, how did this all get here then?
Either
Mike.
someone transplanted it here, or somehow it came here from some place else.
Yeah, but there's more of it here now than there was. It's not natural this area, and actually not a plant. Who's going through all of the middle of nowhere? You could just do this in a backyard, or anywhere more convenient.
A good question. I wonder if maybe this isn't the main place where it grows. Perhaps there are other areas and this is more of a wild arrangement.
Someone's been coming here besides.
Mm-hmm.
So then it seems like you have someone to find then.
Indeed.
That's a good question.
All right, I guess we got to find. Well, you said we couldn't find any tracks or any obvious activity around here, unless you want us to roll for that specifically.
One person has gone looking, Claudia. If you want to expand your range, you could start exploring the forest more.
There you go.
James, you've taken some photos
Yes.
already. Why don't you come with me? I think I found some tracks over here. I'd like to have someone come with me.
That would be an excellent idea. I'll come.
Okay. So yeah, I'll
Zomic looks like he's found something to follow.
Oh,
Is
what
Dante
do you-
going to stay with him?
Oh, did you find
See
something?
no reason why not.
Yeah, I
Oh
found
yeah, I'll
something.
follow Zamek.
Okay, so everyone will actually
Yeah.
stick together then.
Let's
Well,
group our efforts. Let's stay
is-
together.
Is East coming with us, or is he staying here?
I suppose I have nothing better to do.
Yes, let's stay together. Greater strength in numbers.
Yeah, I'm
Okie
looking
dokie.
for information that I wrote down here. Where is it? All right. Zamek, you noticed something odd among the trees. Dark strands like spider webs. Sort of thicker and sprawling from tree to tree, more than regular webbing might do. They spread out a great deal from each other, but none can seem to connect directly to any other. And in fact, there seemed to be no spider or insect around it.
All right, and I go, see, teach. You can tell me that's natural. You're gonna tell me there's a natural explanation for that too? As I point out the
Pretty weird.
The strands appear to go deeper into the forest.
all right. Um, are we prepared to deal with any type of creature that we might encounter out here?
Well, I
And I
brought a
go,
pistol.
I'll just shrug and
great,
say I am.
great, good. Get those ready. And let's go.
What, for insects?
Let's just
Yeah.
be prepared.
Well, as you insist.
All right,
All
I
right.
keep following the trail and the spider web strands.
Yep. You follow the trail, and you end up following them to a clearing in the woods, full of tall, wild grass, but very little else. Discernible near the center of it is a dark spot of ground, with bare remnants of rotted wood and the fallen stones of some small cottage. It does not look like anyone has resided here in a long time.
But the path or activity does lead in that direction.
Right. Give me another observation.
Ooh, just one success.
Does anyone want to apply assistance?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. How do I do
Yeah,
that?
you assist by rolling your own mind. And
If you have mind observation, you can roll it and you can lend your successes to me.
yeah, like I had one success, so I will give you a bonus D8. And James is one success. That's most. So
There you
yeah,
go.
we all. Well, actually, I don't know why James rolled body, but
Oops, that was supposed to be bind. Let me
If
try.
you rolled another d6, it'd be fine. There we go. Uh, so yeah, so initial one, two,
but yeah,
three.
we all look around because we're all highly observant.
All right. So you all look around and you start to try to figure out like where these strands are going to. And it looks like the dark strands of the trees seem to reach their end here. And from the surrounding tree line, you feel as if the centers this very location. But peering closer, it would appear as if some of the strands fly loose from the trees as they seek the center of the field, hanging in place as if held up by another point, though no wind blows to assist it to stay aloft in the air. And so the longer you question it, the more you feel a cold shiver up your spine.
And once again, I point out, yeah, give me a natural explanation for that, Professor.
I would like to start hyperventilating.
And I clap my,
I look
clap Dante.
indignantly.
I clap Dante on the back. I go, relax. Take a deep
Actually,
breath.
before you go and clap me, I would like to try and roll something.
Go for it. What do you want to do?
Hold on. 3 successes on a mesmerism roll. I'm gonna be using clouding of minds.
All right, roll with me. Let's see what it does.
My fear instinct is taking over. The moment you started describing all that darkness in the center of the field area, I knew Dante would be freaking the fuck out.
I have a flashlight.
So you did clouding of the minds, and I think that just protects you.
Makes me invisible to lesser minds. Not invisible so much as unnoticed.
Okay.
It's literally the power the shadow has.
Anyone else can roll will in questioning, but I think you'll have to beat a 7.
Well, he's gone.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll approach the hut.
It was a stretch that Dante even walked this far into the woods.
I go forward. I am a cat. I am curious.
I go forward with my flashlight.
All right. So James, you're the only one rolled. You're not really thinking about Dante anymore.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
Just doesn't even cross your mind. There's nobody hyperventilating here. So what are the lot of you going to do?
I'm gonna investigate the house.
Yeah, we're gonna
Uh,
investigate this shed shack hut thing.
okay, what do you have to sort of investigate it? And what
Uh,
questions are you going to ask?
we have a lot of observation. I'm going to make a circuit of the house here.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
and I have a flashlight.
Zamek, hey. That is
Yeah,
3 successes just on your own.
It's still daylight, right?
It's still daylight, it's still obvious. But by the looks of it, this house more or less rotted away. And this is a process that must have taken quite a long while, maybe at least 50 years.
So is it collapsed?
It is collapsed. There's very little left except a few rotting planks indicating the rough outline of it, stones which may have been a chimney, and darkened ground where the area has been leveled.
Is there any of this fungus in this area?
Oddly enough, no. Absolutely zero, it seems.
But all the strands point to it.
That would be so. I don't
All
suppose
right,
you think might have been the gardener's estate.
I go inside what's left of the house and I look to see if
Yeah.
there's anything on the floor, remnant objects, anything of
Yeah, I guess
note.
to be clear, the house isn't a house as much as it is an outline of a floor plan of a rotted area that used to be a house.
Right. So I just walk into the outline and see if there's anything on the ground, like trinket objects,
Okay.
anything
And
of.
with your large amount of successes, you can find two things. Find me clearing my throat. You can find on the ground a old rusted hatchet, and also a small stone that looks very out of place right outside the house. Like it's a small pile of them.
All right, I investigate the pile.
I do
Uh,
too.
it is in fact a pile of rocks.
A deliberate pile, like a cairn?
Uh, yes, it is a very deliberate small pile, it seems. You're not known for rocks to climb each other this way.
All right, I carefully take off the top layers to see if there's something buried underneath.
So you start digging.
Yes.
Nicholas will hand you the spade.
Well, I'd rather not disturb anything if there's anything buried, so I'd rather just uncover the top to see if there's anything underneath. But thank you, I
Right.
appreciate that.
So you start investigating, and you can feel pretty quickly that you've hit something hard beneath the ground.
Like a box. How big is this pile?
The pile is not larger than a foot at all.
Larger than a foot. Okay. So, and then there's what is the object? A wood, box, stone, metal?
It feels like some kind of stone.
Okay, I pull it out.
You pull it out, and in your hands is a skull.
Made
What
out of
kind of
stone?
skull?
You know, it's less intimidating in the day. From the looks of it, you would guess it must be a tiger's skull.
Made out of stone?
No, it's just bone.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant because you said when I hit something solid that it was stone.
I deceived you.
Okay, so there's a tiger skull, and I pull it out, and I go, "Wow, okay, didn't expect that." Is it fresh, old? Does it look like it's been here for a long time?
I
It
look
does,
at
in
it.
fact, look very old.
One of the victims that disappeared, any of them tigers?
Let me
Uh,
check.
Monkey, bear, gecko, rhino. Claudia was a bear. Bill was a weasel. Both of the pains were weasels. No, okay, no tigers.
No tiger.
A gecko, a bear, a monkey, a rhino. Two weasels and a bear. Okay, all right. Well, I put the tiger skull back down and I kind of
yeah.
carefully wipe my
Nicholas like
hands.
picks it straight back up. Let me have a look at that. And
So
he'll
he
like
goes,
start uncovering more of it. Well, you can see by the hips here. Obviously a female. If I were to take a guess at age at death. Uh, Ooh. Wish it was a fresher corpse. That's what I'm going to say. Judging by the decomposition of the bone, no
so
skin
wait,
or flesh left.
so
It'd
wait,
have to
all
be
the
at least over a year here.
so wait a minute, hold on. So the entire body was piled together with the skull on top, is what you're telling us?
It was a very shallow grave.
Yeah, but you only said it was like a foot wide. So like, was the entire like body piled on top, or was it just a 1 foot long body? That's where I'm confused.
Uh, the pile of stones was not larger than a foot wide, and that seems to have been more or less a marker for this shallow grave.
Gotcha. Okay.
If I'd had to guess, I'd say anywhere from 20 to 100 years. It's not exactly precise. But given the
So
house,
this,
I'd say not much older than that.
Now, could I tell whether this was a sacrifice or not? Or was this a sacrifice or a burial? I should be able to know that as a shaman.
Go ahead and roll me mind observation in academics, and go ahead and take an extra D8 because you have a medical student helping you.
Mine. You said mine observation, and what was the other one?
Academics.
Mine observation. See, that's where. Okay, so here's the academics roll. Did anything come out? Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, that sucked. And this is the observation. Ooh. Okay, never mind then.
Ooh, yikes. And go ahead and roll the D8. This is the assist bonus.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Absolutely nothing. You have not a clue unless someone else wants to take the lead. Uh, but
I'll
as
try.
you're, yeah, as you're investigating it though, Zamek, you get a sudden chill up your spine, and the clouds above you begin to darken. And immediately it starts to rain, making the shallow grave muddy. There will be a D8 penalty to anyone trying to observe further, and by the way, your luck is charged.
Thank you.
Well, that's miserable. We should probably get indoors.
Okay. James Green, you can tell, it looks like by the scoring on this, this person must have, had a wound from a wild animal. There are bite marks all over the leg. Straight to the bone.
This thing was killed.
Savaged by animals and buried. That's
Yeah, but was this an intentional killing or to hide something?
I don't suppose you want to
guessable.
sink your teeth into it and see if you could do such a wound. As the sky darkens, though, you see little bits of orange start to crop up from the ground.
I tell everyone, heads up.
It appears to be happening all over this clearing
That's
as a
weird.
number of flowers begins to bloom.
Um, Mr. East.
Very responsive to darkness. Very strange.
All right, I start backing out of the clearing.
Does anyone else follow Zamek?
Oh hell yeah! This stuff stains.
As you begin stretching out of the clearing, you hear movement in the trees. And the webbing that seemed very thin and far between appears to be getting thicker.
Heads up, guys.
Nicholas appears to still be in the clearing, and in fact, he's leaning down and has pulled out a flashlight and is flashing the flowers to see their reaction as he kneels down.
I grab him. I
And
grab him. I grab him by the shoulder and yank him towards us.
I'm studying.
me too.
Yeah,
And I could, but yeah, you might as well.
Field trip's over, guys. We got to get the hell out of here.
And as you begin to run, things appear to start getting darker. Go ahead and roll me body athletics. Unless any of you want to just stand there and take it. Sonic, James, Claudia.
Not
All
my
looks
best
good.
roll, but still 2 successes.
And Dante.
Oh, I need to roll?
Yes.
I figured since I was basically invisible.
You're
To
just,
lesser beings.
If
Lesser
you don't want
beings.
to leave, you can hang around and be.
yeah, if you just want to truffle shuffle in the middle of the field, that's fine too. But I want to know the choice. All right. Everyone begins to run to the forest, sensing perhaps something is a little bit amiss about this situation through some means.
Well, that I just don't want to get caught in the rain.
That is true. The rain
As we're
doesn't seem
running,
to
I'm like,
be
I got a
very
bad.
heavy underneath the leaves and the webbing. But as soon as you enter the forest at large, the clouds begin to part again and the sun is back. A brief freak shower, if you would. The webbing goes away, and in the distance behind you in the clearing, you can see the orange begin to retreat.
That's really unusual.
And I'm just like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Well, at least a good number of my theories are already bearing fruit. Well, this has definitely been a very informative trip.
But
It doesn't answer a lot of questions.
why don't you share with the group, Sherlock?
Well, you've seen everything that I've seen. I'd hope it'll all be obvious. Being a fungus, it doesn't require light, but it must be feeding off of something. But yet it flowers into darkness, so there must be some way that it spreads. I would assume it's also connected to this webbing here. It also reacts photosensitively. But yet I don't see it connecting to the ground at all. They must be two different substances. Perhaps we should get a sample of that. Maybe if I just take the stick and I start beating at it, it'll come down. And he starts picking up a stick and tries to reach up towards the webbing to disturb
And
it.
I grab his arm and I tell him the story about the spiders that I know that react to their webs being messed with.
You're right. If we haven't seen any this far, they must be hiding very well.
I go, I think we almost got introduced to them a few minutes ago. So why don't we just not disturb that?
And I ask him directly, Nicholas, do you think what happens to? Do you think whatever this was has a connection to the children?
Well, How old do you think was the body buried out there in the field?
20 to 100 years, like he said.
No. How old was the body?
The person, as I said, must have been around 50. It would be my educated guess. There's a range on that, but I feel maybe it's more pertinent to make it a solid number.
So the person out there in that field was not a child.
Perhaps somebody in that town. What was it? Willow Stream? Perhaps one of them happens to know who that person is.
Well, I guess it's about as good a place to start looking as any other place. Guess we'll have to start asking around if anyone knew a tiger that lived out here.
Still, I suppose
Yeah.
as far as the flowers, it's not like the flowers ate it. Well, I have
Who
plenty of
knows?
samples now at the very least.
Maybe he brought the fungus here.
First of all, she, and second of all, well, that might be a good guess.
My apologies. She.
It's okay. I don't think she cares very much anymore.
All right, let's get back in our vehicles. I guess is it early evening, late afternoon at this point?
It's barely even noon.
Okay, so let's go back to town and let's
Let's go find a roadside diner and get some.
Get some
You're right.
snacks.
I'm
There is in fact
famished.
a diner in town.
I'm famished.
We should
Running around-
probably report the corpse that we found.
Should we?
Well, it is a crime. It might give someone.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's make a stop at the sheriff constable. I'm assuming one of those two exist here.
So you say you found a body.
Yep, all the way out there in Cranberry Woods, you know, where that weird yellow stuff grows out there. There's a hut, shack thing up there in a clearing.
Shack. I don't know of anyone living out there.
Seems like it was
Well,
decades
I guess
gone.
except old Silverwind, but
Well,
Oh,
it-
Silverwind?
well, he's closer to town. He's not out in the middle of the woods like you're saying.
Hmm.
for the record, we
Well,
didn't
it
find
wasn't-
someone living. We found someone dead.
Well, it's a tiger
Well,
body.
yes, I assume that's why you're telling me about the body, ma'am. I suppose I'll send out some more boys on another search. At least now there's something to find.
Just
Shouldn't
be
be
sure to
that
do it
hard to
during
find.
daytime.
As far as I'm racking my brain, though, I don't remember anyone saying such a person was missing. I don't remember them living around here either.
How old
Well,
was
there
the
was a
skull that we
homestead.
found?
There was a homestead or some sort of structure out there in the clearing that's at least 50 years old. Was there someone?
The structure was probably 30 years old.
30 years old.
Or
My bad.
30
No, I
years
mean-
rotted anyway.
Yeah, it's a 30-year-old crime, but there's no statute.
Uh,
Statute of limitations on murder.
oh, I forgot one more thing you found in the grave too, by the way. You found a rabbit mask. A perfectly ordinary, what you assume would have been plain white mask. Shaped
tiger-
with rabbit ears.
A tiger with a rabbit mask. Okay, I've seen everything.
It looks like a very small mask at that. It wouldn't have fit this person.
Would have it fit a 10 or 11-year-old child?
Maybe. You want to go find a child and put it on?
But we do have Timothy.
I'll do anything for attention.
We do have little Tommy Riddle, soon to be Voldemort.
Oh boy. But yeah, so they'll take a couple of police officers out there to scavenge the woods, and they've gotten reasonably adept at this. So they follow you out there and scratch their heads a little bit. Well,
All right, so I asked the cops. I'm like, you don't I mean, nobody remembers someone living out here 20, 30 years ago?
Not that I remember. Heck, older than I am. I'm only, spry 38.
Hmm, interesting.
Would've been just a kid when this happened. Well, let's take a look at the body. And they finish fully exhuming it and going over it. Uh, these are wild animal bites right here. Uh, I would suppose that'd be the cause of death. Someone
Must
buried
be.
him, and so I guess somebody else lived out here too.
Must be.
Well, I guess I'll take a look at the town records again. Maybe they'll have something about this. At least this is the first solved missing person case in a long while, even if we didn't know they were missing.
Yeah, this is not too far from where those other kids went missing. Isn't that correct?
Hmm? Which one are you referring to?
Oh, the four kids
You been
that
looking into this
disappeared.
stuff?
Ah, I know some people.
He'll give you like a big pat on the back. It's like, you should be an officer too, you know. Wish half the kids with me had that kind of dedication.
But yeah, no, seriously though, there were four kids missing not too far from here, right?
He'll scratch his chin for a little bit and go, "Oh yeah, I think I was in school at the time that happened." It's in one of those were some older kids, I think.
Yeah, 10 or 11-year-olds. I'm telling you, it's a mighty strange coincidence. You
Yeah.
know, my grandpa always says there's nothing more suspicious than a coincidence.
Well, you're darn straight there. Well, hmm. Wonder if this could be connected then. Well, it's not like there's
Never know.
anyone else here to say anything, but I guess we'll go ahead and file this report and, well, maybe someone will pop up and say a word or two about it.
You think anyone would in the town would be old enough to know if someone lived out here 30 years ago?
Well, I guess Silverwind's father might have, but he's dead at this point.
Oh,
Heart attack, I heard.
really?
Yeah, guy was virgin on 60, I think.
You know he's dead.
Well, Silverwind's father, the younger Silverwind's still out there. Comes into town every now and then, I hear.
Where can I run
Does
into this guy?
arts and crafts business, I think.
Where can I run into this guy?
He's got a place on the edge of town. I think he's like over on the north side of the woods, like over about that way. He walks the whole way. There's not even really a path up to it, but if you're driving by, it's pretty obvious that it's there. Keeps it in sight of the whole town. Nothing really
Uh,
obstructing view.
All right. Thanks a lot, officer.
Don't you go harassing anyone too much. I hear he likes his privacy.
I'll be the height of discretion.
I still don't want to hear anything back from him. I got your names now, he says as he like holds up like his notepad. And I guess welcome to Willow Springs.
All right, let's go find ourselves a mountain man.
As the officer is leaving, I've probably dropped the clouding of minds thing.
Okay,
To
just
speak.
making sure. I figured it was going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm dropping because I've heard the whole conversation. I've been with everybody the whole time. Hold on one second. Excuse me, officer.
Huh?
I couldn't
Oh.
help but overhear. Is that spirit you're talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess up the name again?
No, this is in character.
Uh, this...
Where did I lose you, GM?
Uh, the question in the name because I was thinking I made a mistake here.
Well, no,
Is it
because you.
Silverwind or Spirit Wind that I keep tossing at you?
No, it's Silverwind.
Okay.
You've
Can you
you've
just ask them about
mentioned.
a spirit?
No, I said Spirit. Spirit Silverwind is who I'm asking about. You saying an older and a
Okay.
younger. I'm asking
All right.
in character if the Spirit
Okay, so
Silverwind
that
is
was
the
his
one that
first name
died of
then,
a heart
got it.
attack. Yeah.
No, Spirit's father. Spirit's the younger one, if I recall.
Okay, well that's just confusing to me then.
Okay, I know. I'm trying to get my information straight because I just have a lot of names I'm trying to
Right,
say
no,
quickly.
Spirit Silverwind was the age of my parents last time I saw him, so I'd assume that he's the 60-year-old man that died.
Oh, I know where I can find the No, not there. Gosh dang, where's my answer?
Because we would
have-
to be both old men. So if Spirit Silverwind is the one that I know, then it has to be the father, which is the guy who died of a heart attack. Which is why I'm asking about it. Unless you mean the guy I know as father, which would have to be like a 90 to 100 years old and dead.
Okay. The younger one will be Spirit from here on out. The father is dead. The younger is maybe 10 to 20 years your senior.
Okay, so then I have to change the name on the notes that I have. What's the father's name?
I don't have one on hand, honestly.
Okay. Because my notes have the older one, because the older one is the one that I would know. I wasn't here for the kid, so I don't know who this guy is.
If he's 10 to 20 years your senior, he was an adult in town when you were a kid.
Well, because your note here says he's the age of my parents. Parents is the guy that I know, I mean. And I'm like 40-something, which means that the guy who was 20
Maybe he
years...
is older than I was thinking then, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my
So
mid...
maybe that one's getting on years.
I'm in my
Okay,
mid-40s, so the guy who's 20 years older than my senior would be 60, who you just said
Yeah,
had a
he's-
heart attack and died.
Okay. So the guy who is alive right now, allegedly, is probably in his 60s and is definitely veering towards death himself. And his father, as discussion went, has already died and passed on probably about 10 years ago.
Okay. But you can see where that'd be relevant, right? Somebody that I know would be dead if this is the way it was played out.
Correct. But the one that you know is the younger one.
Alright, then I have no reason to bring up this conversation.
Okay. Yay, information clarity. I think I just need to make multiple notepads here. I think that's what I need to do.
Well, the thing is
Instead
that
of
I've
scrolling.
kept up with my own information, and sometimes we're crossing paths on information you've changed and I haven't.
Yeah, definitely kick me in about it. Okay, so, what's the plan then? The police will escort you back out of the woods to make sure that you don't end lost and as more missing persons.
I thought we were at like a diner or something.
You guys ended up before going to the diner, like going to the police station
Oh,
immediately.
if we got to the police station before the diner, then I guess we stopped at the... Might make.
All right, so back to the diner then, everybody.
My
Let's see
major
what
worry
we-
is we're no closer to solving the mystery.
Yeah, definitely more questions than answers at this point.
Yep. A lot of you are sitting at Tillman's Grill and ordering up some lunch.
Yeah,
And
get
Nicholas
some-
is just kind of like looking at you all and not eating anything.
Remember, this is before plastics and artificial clothes. So if we got rained on, anything we're wearing will get rain soaked.
He looks a little bit miserable, but his hair is definitely looking a little bit better now.
I'm used to it. I'm a drifter, so I just make do.
Man, you haven't been a drifter in a long time.
If you had just
Well,
let me walk around and fetch my umbrella, I would have been just fine, thank you. You didn't have to drag me around like that.
If that
I'm
wasn't...
still confused. Why is someone planting fake flowers? These weird network tendrils above it. Like, what
I'm
is
supposed to be
all
clear,
this?
fake is my word for it. They're not real flowers, they're fungus.
What's the purpose of it?
Well, the purpose of most